Okay, here's the question. The first question is, how did you feel not having a podcast for a month, 2 monts?
Fantastic.
It was amazing.
One of the best. It was the best. I would love to never do this again.
It was the greatest feeling I've ever had in my life. You know what's so funny? I've never been funnier in my entire life. When you said we need to take time off from Two Bears to do our shows, I was so defiant.
I know.
Because I'm still subscribing to that model of it's got to be released every week. It's got to be released every week. No matter if it's good or not. It doesn't matter if it's good. It's got to be released. If it's good, I don't care if it's good. Did it get released? Like that's the mentality I've been at.
After Chrissy D and Stubby revived Two Bears One Cave over a 6-week redemption arc, the original Bears are finally back. We all knew this moment was coming, and yet somehow in the first 30 seconds, it was even worse than I thought it was going to be. Instead of picking up where Chrissy and Stubby left off with the high-energy comedy podcast stylings that transformed the show into what it was supposed to be from the start, Tom and Bert sucked all the energy out of their return and confirmed the biggest criticisms of the show almost immediately.
Welcome to the final episode ever of Two Bears, One Cave. It was a blast while it lasted, and we're here to sign off. We thank Stavi and Chris DiStefano for taking over. We know you enjoy them, and you will continue to enjoy them. Bert, good to see you.
Good to see you. Did you watch any other episodes?
I would watch
not,
like.
You did not.
Did you watch them all?
I watched everyone.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. I watched the clips. I just know they were trashing us, telling them the whole time.
That was the saddest attempt at leaning into it I've ever seen from Tom. He's mastered the art of sucking all of the energy out of a room. The guy is so far gone at this point that he seriously needs to consider getting away from the microphones and cameras and focusing on all of his various business interests instead. If you've been following this saga across the last few weeks on my channel, you'll know how much the guest host experiment backfired on Tom and Bert. What started off as a bit of filler content to keep the ad reads rolling over at YMH ended up exposing just how stale and lifeless this show had become. Chrissy and Stubby hosting the show in their absence turned out to be an intervention just without Tom and Bert in the room, which honestly made it so much more effective. Finally, Bert was able to confront his inner demons and come face to face with the consequences of his massive overexposure, and to his credit, he actually admits it. He admits that not podcasting for 2 months was the best thing that's ever happened to him in his life. He is way funnier, more present, happier, more grounded, and for just a brief moment he seemed self-aware, like he was about to have a breakthrough. But then in true Bert Kreischer style, he completely fucks it up, because without even a hint of irony, he declares that he's never been funnier. This is the kind of delusion we've come to expect from one of the 6 never been funny comedians who Joe Rogan keeps pushing on his show. And speaking of never been funny, if you haven't already, check out the link in the description to my Patreon, because I just dropped a video covering the Kill Tony London show that Tony and Red Band have been hiding from everyone. You won't see it anywhere else. So if you want exclusive access to one of the biggest bombs in Kill Tony history, head over to my Patreon and become a member. Even comedy legend Timmy No Breaks just signed up, so you know it's good. Also, I want to give a massive shout out to all of you who have already headed over to my new channel, More Cringe, and subscribed. If you want to see more cringe outside of the usual suspects I cover on this channel, head over there and subscribe so you don't miss out on all the extra content I've been posting. Let's face it, Bert's not going to be around for much longer, am I right? Anyway, let's get back to Tom and Bert both having a Schultz epiphany and admitting that they hate podcasting and want to give it up completely.
Okay, here's the question. The first question is, how did you feel not having a podcast for a month, 2 months?
Fantastic.
It was amazing.
One of the best. It was the best. I would love to never do this again.
It was the greatest feeling I've ever had in my life. You know what's so funny? I've never been funnier in my entire life. I think because I'm talking so much, I forgot what it's like to be a regular person in conversations with people and be spontaneously funny. And my stand-up, everything I thought went on stage, it didn't go into a podcast.
You should do less podcasts.
Do you know how many podcasts?
I mean,
do you know how much content I put out? 3 podcasts out of 7, three a week out of 7 days.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's time to quit. Great. I love you. I'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah.
Are we saying bye?
Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert.
How do we make this to make us happier?
That cancellation gag was way worse than the lame-ass jokes I put in my own videos, but it's honestly kind of perfect that they're both admitting they hate podcasting, and what makes it so good is that neither of them actually watched the guest episodes over the last 6 weeks, so they don't realize they're admitting things that Chrissy, Stavy, and the whole comment section called them out for. Instead, they're trying to reframe it by claiming that their burnout was some kind of creative reset. Bert talks about how not podcasting made him funnier, more present, more engaged in conversations, which obviously sounds like a step in the right direction, but then he immediately pivots into listing how many podcasts he's still doing every week, and even admits he probably needs to quit. The thing with Bert is he's not saying all of this in an eye-opening moment of self-awareness caught on camera. He's straight up fucking bragging. This is Bert 101. He's been doing this for years, where Brendan Schaub will brag by telling a lie and fabricating a story that clearly never happened to him. Bert will tell the truth about something that makes him look bad and then brag about it. He's effectively saying, taking time off made me realize how overexposed I am. I do multiple podcasts per week. It drains the energy out of me and my audience. It's completely ruined my comedy career because my stand-up routines now are just recycled podcast content. But hey, look at me. I'm still here.
It was so fun. And then I did one podcast with Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah.
And I was engaged and I was interested.
Yeah.
And I hadn't done one in 2 months. And I was like, I was present. It's like, it was crazy.
Look, there is such thing as doing too much, man.
Buddy, I lived the life where I wanted to prove to everyone I could do everything. When you said we need to take time off from Two Bears to do our shows, I was so defiant.
I know.
Because I'm still subscribing to that model of it's got to be released every week. It's got to be released every week. It's got to be released every week, same time. No matter if it's good or not. It doesn't matter if it's good. It's got to be released. If it's good, I don't care if it's good. Did it get released? Like that's the mentality I've been at. I am absolutely not Joe Rogan, who can put out amazing podcasts 7 days a week. I mean, he can do. Yeah. I don't know how he does it.
I don't either. He's also just wired differently.
He's so different. Like, I mean, we're in the business. We right now are in the business that everyone is dying to get into, and we are in the top 5% of that business. In that we're monetized, we have sponsors, we have companies. Like, I mean, you look at like, what's her name? Amy Poehler.
Yeah,
Amy Poehler, is that her? The blonde lady. Yeah. I don't mean this like shitty, but like it kind of broke my heart. She is one of the most, if not one of the top 10 female comedic actors, not just of her generation, that we'll ever know. She's one of the funniest writers, directors. She is a prolific talent. She is a prolific talent. Yeah. I will never be as talented as Amy Poehler in any facility. And yet here she is doing a podcast. But why? What are you doing? Make movies. And so what I'm saying is Amy Poehler realizes that the business we're in right now, like making movies and television shows, that's dying. This is the one thriving. She just hasn't. She's the first one to get to the oil rig and going, oh, this is cool. We're living on the ocean. And we've been living on the oil rig for 15 years going, it gets old.
True. Yeah.
Do you think she feels about film and television the way we feel about podcasting, and we feel about film and television the way she feels about podcasting?
It's perfectly, possible, like, she's obviously like killed it in that space. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe she's bored. Maybe she's just like really having a good time doing these podcasts.
Hey, Amy Poehler, will you breathe some life into our podcast and be our guest?
Bert Kreischer's basically narrating his own decline. He's sitting there having what he thinks is a career-altering revelation, talking about burnout, overexposure, the grind of constantly spamming content, but instead of using it as a wake-up call, he turns it into a brag. He's describing the symptoms of having a creative collapse as if he just invented it. I was funnier, more present, more engaged. Yeah, man, that's what taking a fucking break does. That's not enlightenment. That's what 99% of normal people do whenever they get the chance. But Bert acts like he stumbled onto a secret no other celebrity has ever figured out. Right before admitting he still records 3 episodes a week and has no intention of stopping. And for the love of God, will somebody please explain to Bert that you don't say in any facility. The correct way to say it is in every facet. For fuck's sake, can we get the Bert and Schaub show we've all been asking for already? And the whole Amy Poehler thing is straight up cope. The only thing that broke Bert's heart about seeing her new podcast is that she gets 10 times the views he does, and she's only just started it this year. Bert's so wound up by it, you can hear it in his voice. According to Bert, Amy Poehler doing a podcast is evidence that Hollywood is dead. The game has changed, as if she's the first Hollywood actor to start a fucking podcast. Bert frames it like Amy is the one having the identity crisis. What's she doing? Make fucking movies. Bro, she's just trying to cash in on those ad reads just like you and Tom. Bert was projecting so hard in that clip. He's just butthurt that a Hollywood comedian is branching out into podcasting while him and Tom are trying to get into Hollywood. We've seen him cope like this whenever Shane Gillis drops a new special or a new season of Tires or whatever the fuck it is. He starts off by giving Shane his flowers, but then tries to insert himself into the picture by claiming he discovered Shane before he got famous and put him on tour because he knew he was going to blow up before everyone else did. And he's doing the exact same thing here. He's praising Amy, saying she's got more talent than he does in every facet. Also, he can low-key brag that she's copying his formula by starting a podcast. Watching someone like Amy Poehler enter the space, getting way more views than him, and without a whole ecosystem dedicated to shitting on him, is giving him more FOMO than watching an episode of Protect Our Parks while chugging a bottle of Porosos, laying in a bath full of his own tears. Even Tom picks up on it. He starts asking hypothetical questions like, do you think she feels about film and TV the way we feel about podcasting? And yet again, a comedy podcast turns into a group therapy session. This is what the end looks like. 2 burnt-out millionaires trying to reframe their downfall as some kind of philosophical dilemma. But it seems like Bert's jealousy has no bounds. Tom lost a bunch of weight recently after he had to do a 5-day fast for a cancer screening test and basically didn't put the weight back on after dropping it. Clearly, Bert's bigger than ever. He's so bloated and red that he's surely about to pop. I mean, how much more expansion can his body take? Not dying is by far Bert's biggest achievement in life. And so now that Tom's looking like a cancer patient in remission, Bert just had to find a way to put him down.
So wait, 185, you're 185 right now. I said to everyone, and I know you probably don't want me to say this to people, but that you're getting a bunch of skin removed. And I was like, what's cool is that he's got so much hair, you'll never see the scars. And they were cool. Everyone was like, oh, yeah, you're right. You won't see the scars. I was like, that's what's great about his skin removal.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks.
Bert is such a dick. I know Tom loves nothing more than to talk about his own body and all the shit he takes, his personal chef and all the fancy meals he eats every day because he's rich and famous, but getting skin surgery is probably something he wanted to keep private or talk about himself. I honestly think we're seeing Bert entering a whole new phase of douchebag. He's slowly realizing how he's aging with the grace of a bull in a china shop, his stand-up comedy material is drying up, his ticket sales and podcast views are dropping off, and so now he's becoming a bitter has-been who can't cope with the success of others. I think it's time for Bert to get the talk from Joe Rogan. You know, the one about not blaming others for your own failures and looking inward instead of outward for solutions. But if that doesn't work, just go back to the 55-year-old frat boy talk.
So we'd start at noon and we shoot till midnight. So lunch was around 6, and around 8 o'clock, I'd start getting hungry. And I would send my assistant, Kyle, 40 pizzas one time. I sent him to get
40 pizzas,
300 cheeseburgers at McDonald's. I sent him to get White Castle, and I would just bring in fast food. I ate 8 White Castles in the middle of a take one time.
During a take?
We operate different, Tom. I think I just am on a different. And then the second we would rap, they would call Bertini. So I don't care what Martini is for these guys. Bertini is the one that matters.
That's so narcissistic. Keep going.
They do that for a lot of people. And so
do they?
Yeah.
I've never heard it, but go ahead.
You've only been on one movie, Tom. So
I've been on 7, and I've never heard one for Mark Wahlberg.
Kyle would run to my Sprinter van and make a double Porosos and soda. And when they called cut for me, it would be put right in my hand. And then I would drink at midnight. Here's how I was healthy, though. I would only drink for like 2 hours. So I would have 22 hours between drinking. So I barely drank it all.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
The only reason why Bert's personal assistant hasn't poisoned his Bertinis yet is because he's milking that cash cow for everything it's worth, just like everyone else in Bert's life. Sorry, did I say cash cow? I meant lol cow. Bert was trying to give us a behind-the-scenes story from his latest film shoot as if he's some comedy diva who can't stop being funny no matter how hard he tries, but he really just exposes the multiple disorders he has that his money, fame, and everyone around him is enabling. I've said this before, but if you took the money out of the Bert Kreischer equation, he'd be a bum living on the streets begging for change. Even Tom straight up called him a narcissist for naming his own drink. He had his assistant run to his Sprinter van and mix up a double Porosos and soda so that when the director yelled cut, he could immediately have a drink placed into his hand as if he's fucking Frank Sinatra. This is Bert's idea of healthy. Because he only drank for 2 hours a night, which in his brain somehow means he's barely drank at all. This is why I keep saying it's not a comedy podcast anymore. This whole episode was a glimpse into the kind of self-destructive narcissism that's been eating Bert alive for years, but he's way too far gone to realize that his funny story is just proof that everyone around him is just being paid to enable his collapse. But then he got onto his testosterone therapy. For the life of me, I cannot understand how any doctor would recommend Bert go on TRT before cleaning up his diet and drinking first and losing 50 pounds off his stomach. This is a disaster waiting to happen. The pressure on Bert's heart right now is written all over his face.
Did you shave your back for this movie? Because I think you did. You shaved your shoulders.
The makeup department did, yeah.
Yeah, shaved your shoulders.
No, you always have someone trimming your back. Every time I see
my
you.
back every day. Every other day.
Every other day?
Ever since I got on testosterone, my back's been fucking crazy.
Really?
Yeah, my back started growing hair like really bad. But I still benched 295 5 times, whatever.
How much do you weigh?
I don't know. I haven't got on a plane. I think I can tell you, be honest, anyone listening, if you have this barometer too, I can tell you if I'm above 255 or below 255 on whether or not I can touch my asshole.
That's the fucking barometer for this?
It's a barometer.
So what, can you touch your asshole right now?
Barely. I have to exhale pretty hard to wipe my ass.
That's cool.
Tom, sometimes I don't shit because I know I can't wipe my ass. Like if it's a thin toilet and I can't really spread my legs out, like I need to really spread my legs out and then go and then get in there. I feel.
How's your acid reflux going?
You know what? Not great.
Yeah, I've heard it about 30 times since we started.
I know. Not great.
Do you know that?
You're like, that's acid reflux.
Yeah, I know, bro. It might be the 10 egg bites. Most people have 2. Most people have 2.
The worst part for Bert is that I don't think Tom's going to stop laughing after Bert has a heart attack. He's still going to be sitting there with Bert's replacement laughing at how Bert basically ate and drank himself to death. Bert literally has to make a plan to wipe his own ass. Leanne is 10 pounds away from having to be Bert's full-time carer. And it's not even funny anymore, it's just fucking gross. He's describing how he's too big to use certain toilets, so he has to strategically avoid shitting altogether, otherwise he'll have to spend the rest of the day with soggy cheeks, and Tom's just sitting there laughing nervously while counting down the minutes until he gets to leave. And then there's the acid reflux. Bert trying to clear his throat has become part of the sound design of this fucking podcast. The guy is dying right in front of our eyes. Meanwhile, he's bragging about bench pressing nearly 300 pounds when he's clearly over 300 pounds himself. And if you can barely wipe your own ass, it kinda doesn't count, bro. The guy genuinely believes he's still in the prime of his life while his body is literally rejecting food and he cannot function with basic mobility. And look, I'm not saying Bert Kreischer is going to explode on air. Actually, no, I am saying that. And when he does, Tom will probably still be sitting there nodding along and laughing and saying something like, "He did it, it finally happened," and then get his shit and walk out to his McLaren, start it up and drive home with bits of Bert's organs hanging off his nose and ears. Actually, that sounds like a good idea for an episode of Bad Thoughts. You can have that one for free, Tom, you fucking tight ass. Anyway, make sure you head over to my new channel, More Cringe, and check out the link in the description to my Patreon for all my latest Kill Tony coverage. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.